Hello. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday to you. Hopefully, we can hear me and hopefully, we are good out there. How is everybody doing today on this beautiful Friday? Happy February to you all. I am just so thankful and so blessed to be able to come to you with another February or Ladies Real Talk Live. I know. What can I say? It's Friday. I am a little tired and exhausted, to be very honest with you, because if you work in the school system and you wear multiple hats in other arenas, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be exhausted too. So, what is tonight about? Tonight is about self love. And is it selfish? And we are not, I say we, but we're not going to be before you long, that church lingo. Just to give you a few quick tips and information on how you can continue to love yourself, take care of yourself, motivate yourself so that you can continue to do the work that you're doing. You can continue to encourage, to inspire, to nurture, to do all the things that you have been created for. And so I want to share a few things that has helped me, but also a few resources that we're going to touch on tonight, and one being this book by Dr. Anita Phillips. You can see it there. If you have not heard of Dr. Anita Phillips, I encourage you to look her up. She is a Christian, first of all, child of God. She is also a wonderful psychologist and therapist, and she blends and unifies both the mental health aspect and the faith-based aspect together, and really gives you a personal insight about her life and her story in this book as it relates to her sister, who was diagnosed with a mental health condition and unfortunately did pass away due to other, I'm not going to give it all away. I want you to get the book, due to other circumstances. But it really is insightful, and she has some really good tips and key information for those who are just not sure about what is mental health all about, or what does it mean when someone says they have a diagnosis. What does it mean when you may feel a certain way, and so that's also part of my world and my realm. But I will always give credit where credit is due, and I will always seek to get more understanding and education from those that have gone beyond me and have learned more than I know. So I'm just going to say this is a really good resource. So what are we doing about ourselves? What are we doing about self-love? Is it selfish? Should we even indulge in taking care of ourselves to the extent that a lot of people may put out there, whether it be on social media or on various platforms? And the reality of it is, you must take care of yourself. Point blank. If you don't take care of yourself, then everything else is going to fall by the wayside. If you are a parent, if you are an entrepreneur, if you work in a facility or program, whatever you do, you still have to bring yourself to the table, and you have to bring yourself, at least try to be 100%. But if we are burnt out, if we're doing multiple things, if we're caring for everyone else but ourselves, eventually, what's going to happen? You're going to run yourself ragged. You're going to be exhausted. You may not even care anymore about what you're doing. You may lose that passion that you once had for something. And so eventually, something is going to give way. And usually, if you're not doing it for yourself, you are the one that's going to fall by the wayside. So what does that look like? So in this book, remember, The Garden Within, it really talks about the roots of things and getting to the meat of things, getting to the understanding of what is going on. Why do you do what we do? Why do you do what you do? And that's really what a lot of us as therapists and clinicians have studied over time, because we're trying to understand, why do people say the things they say, or act the way they do, or react to things the way they do? Because there is a reason. There's something that has been ingrained in you, or a belief system that has been built within, that makes you react the way that you do. But one of the things that I love, from what Dr. Phillips says, and she shares in her book, specifically on page 35, it talks about relationships and the relationship with yourself. And so I won't read it all, but it says, a healthy relationship with yourself requires self awareness, self love, and self care. I'm going to say it again. It requires self awareness, self love, and self care. So, self awareness, what does that include? And some of the things she shares is just being aware of yourself, how you're connected to your body, knowing how you feel, what you need, what you want, what you don't want, recognizing your thinking patterns, your character traits, your strengths, and I'm going to put in there your areas of growth. She words it acknowledging your weakness. But really, with every weakness, there's an area of growth. There's the potential for growth, I should say. But also becoming accountable when your behavior doesn't align with your values. So, what does self love look like? So, one of the things that she shares is saying that I am worthy of being loved. Let's start there. Your value, knowing your worth, knowing you're treasured, knowing who you are, knowing whose you are, and knowing that you are worth respect. She also says that knowing that your voice matters, knowing that you will treat yourself with kindness, even when you let yourself down. I know many times in my own journey of these years, there are many things that I did not do well. There are many things that I still don't do well, or I don't follow through on, because I'm just doing too many things at once. And then I beat myself up because I didn't get certain things done, or I wasn't able to take something, out for dinner, or most recently, I promised my child we were going to make s'mores. We have not made these s'mores. They're sitting in the cupboard for I don't know how long now. I'm going to have to get new stuff. But ultimately, we can't beat ourselves up for the things that we didn't do and we didn't get to accomplish. But we also need to take accountability for those things and then say, okay, how can I do this better? How can I make this a priority? How can I make myself a priority? And that doesn't necessarily mean, going to a spa all the time or taking yourself out shopping. And if you can do those things on a regular basis, hey, by all means, feel free, enjoy. But then don't get upset when you're in a hole and you're trying to figure out how to pay bills. Okay, I'm just saying. So we have to still be wise in what we do and what we do. Another thing she shares is that I will treat myself with kindness, even when I'm sorry, I said that already, left myself down, but I am both imperfect and capable of growth. I am both imperfect and capable of growth. That's important to note. As well as, I don't mind if other people see my imperfections. Talk about self-love. Self-love is also knowing yourself so well that if someone even attempts to point out a flaw, you already know yourself. You already know those areas. And not that you would take that as a jab or a stab, or that, they are trying to come at you. But if anything, more so a reflection of thank you. I recognize that. Or if you don't know it, thank you for pointing it out. That's something for me to grow on, things to chew on. And then she talks about self-care includes intentionally choosing to nurture yourself spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, not after, but before your breaking point. I'm going to say that again because that needs to be said again. I'm going to preach it to myself. Self-care intentionally choosing to nurture yourself spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, not after, but before the breaking point. That's where many of us lose ourselves. That's where many of us find ourselves, even in times like this, where it seems like there's just so much chaos and turmoil. And we really don't know which way is up and which way is down at times. But we have to choose to take care of ourselves so that we don't get to that breaking point, so that we don't stay in that breaking point, or we don't get to the low points that could lead us to another way of thinking, another way of processing. And then you retreat and you withdraw. And now you don't want to be bothered. You don't want to be with anybody. You want to be around nobody. And that's where it's the danger zone, because then you're by yourself, you're alone with your thoughts. And oftentimes, our thoughts are not always positive. We lend more or we lean more to the negative than we do the positive. And we have thousands of thoughts that are flying every second, every second. There's a thought, there's a thought, there's a thought, there's a thought. And majority of them are negative. So we also have to train ourselves to think positive. So in addition to what Dr. Phillips have shared, and again, I think this is a really, really good resource, something that I'll continue to be talking about and pulling a few things out of here. Who knows, maybe we'll do a book club or something, I don't know. But I'm going to encourage you to build upon your resources, but also number one for my believers, pray, 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 pray without ceasing. But if you find that even while praying, you're still having some challenges or struggles, or you're not able to put things in perspective, then number two, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to support, reach out to family members, a trusted family member, a trusted friend. And if you feel like you have no one that you can truly share those things with or be honest with and intimate with, then I'm going to encourage you to reach out to a professional. You can find a therapist, you can find someone online, you can find groups. If you're having trouble in finding someone, reach out to me. I'll try to connect you to some resources. And if you're not really interested in talking to anybody, look, at least listen to a podcast. Let the Bible read to you something, because you got to get more inside so that you can then be able to pull from the inside before you get to that point of complete burnout or giving up just because you are so depleted. So the question I pose is self-love selfish? In my opinion, it's not. It's actually needed more than anything, especially in these times. Because again, if you don't take care of yourself, then where does that leave everything else? Where does that leave your family? Where does that leave your business? Where does that leave the dreams? Or where does that leave the purpose that God has placed inside of you? We don't want that to go to waste. And so I encourage you, I implore you, I beg you, whatever you have to do, make sure that you make time for you. With some of my clients, I tell them that they may need, most of them are moms. So I tell them they need a mommy pit stop. And you might say, well, what is a mommy pit stop? So to me, a mommy pit stop is just like when the race cars, they're going around and around and they're driving and they're going 100, 200 miles. I don't really know how fast they go, but they're going really fast. Round and round, running around, running. But eventually, those cars have to come in for a pit stop. And during that pit stop, the tires are changed, things are checked on the vehicle, the driver, if he needs something, is checked as well. It's all done at once. But at the end of the day, they have to come in for those moments, even if it's once or twice, in order to complete the race. Because if not, and they keep running and they keep going without coming in for that pit stop, they run the risk of danger to themselves, danger to the vehicle, but also danger to those around them. I'm just saying that's a word right there. I'm not a preacher, but if I was, I would say that's a word right there. Or with one of my wonderful mentors and mothers in Christ, she would say, that's some good stuff right there. But think about that. If a vehicle, just like your car or your bike or whatever vehicle you use for transportation, that thing needs maintenance. I've been practicing, y'all. I'm Jamaican. We don't say that. We say maintenance. But we your vehicle needs maintenance, right? On a regular basis. And so if you'll take care of your vehicle to get an oil change, you'll let your vehicle, you need new tires, you need it to be washed, cleaned, whatever the case may be, in order for it to run. How much more do you need a pit stop? So you may not be a mom, but you can call it whatever you want. You just need a me stop. And what does a me stop look like? It could be you simply just taking time to do nothing, but enjoy something that you love. If you're a nature person, walking outside for a few minutes, going to a park and just sitting and enjoying the scenery. If you enjoy the beach, go to the beach. If you're in certain areas, it's freezing cold, don't go in the water, but you can still enjoy just hearing the waves for a few minutes, 30 minutes to an hour. And just let that time be about you so you can refresh yourself. If you are a parent, you're a mom, then sometimes you might need to go to the store without the children. Or, if you go to your favorite restaurant and take yourself out, take a trip by yourself or with your girls. Do something for you. You have to be refreshed. You have to be restored. And if for nothing else, the word even tells you that you need to take that pause. Jesus did. He took a break. He rested. He did all that work with creation and everything else. And then what did he do? He rested. So I'm going to encourage you to rest. No work. If TV is your thing and you just need to watch something stupid or something hilarious, whatever, make sure it's not too ratchet though. But watch something that makes you laugh. Watch something that makes you relax. Or if you enjoy being with your children and that is your way of rejuvenating and being revived and being restored, then play a card game with your kids. Color with your kids. Make cakes or pies or whatever. I am not the baker, but enjoy that moment. But whatever you do, make it refreshing. If you enjoy cooking and that is your thing, if you enjoy knitting, you pretty much get the gist, right? If you were a writer, write. But schedule that time if you need to. If you are so busy, you are just running, and you can't stop, there's a problem. How much do you love yourself? How much do you love the things around you? How much do you love your family? Because remember, if those cars don't come in for a pit stop, they run the risk of hurting themselves, hurting the vehicle, but also putting everyone else around them in danger. So I thank you for this time tonight. I do pray that you find some time to really express that self-love that you so well deserve. I pray blessings upon you. I pray peace upon you. I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful February, a fabulous February, as one of my coworkers says. And I do pray that you find time to have that moment with God, with yourself, and enjoying others. So until next time, I am so grateful to be with you. If you need resources, again, get this book. Get this book. It is on. Now, first of all, let me also say this. I don't get any royalties or any whatever it is with this thing. I just really think that this was an awesome opportunity, or awesome book, I should say. And this is one of the things that has really helped me, and it continues to just gives me wisdom and knowledge, and as I'm doing the work that I'm doing as well. So if for nothing else, I'm going to encourage you, get this book. Okay. Another quick resource, and even though we didn't talk about it tonight, but this is something we'll talk about, and I'll probably get one of my friends on here that's better at this than I am. But here's another one. If you need assistance with finances, Money, money, money. Ain't it funny? Okay, get this book too. Okay, this is amazing. The Budgetnista is another great resource, and it gives you information of how to budget, things that recommended things. She's not going to tell you what to do and what not to do, but recommended things for you. And it also gives insight to some things that you probably don't even know about and resources that you're not aware of. You can also purchase it. I believe it comes with a workbook, but it's 10 simple steps to becoming financially whole. So this is another one I'm going to highly encourage. Get this book. Okay. If for nothing else, you're going to get resources in working with me, but also follow on YouTube and on Facebook and on all the other social media platforms. If you have any questions, or you're looking for some resources, or you're looking for a therapist, you're looking for a coach, and I can't work with everybody, nor will I work with everybody, just putting it out there, but I will get you to somebody if I can, and I will do my best to help and support you along with your journey. So I pray that you've been encouraged, equipped, and I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful day, a wonderful time, a wonderful weekend whenever you're seeing this. But until next time, God bless, be blessed,